This is Mel and Matty with Susie O'Neill for breakfast on Nova.
Oh, g'day. Thanks for joining us here on the Mel and Matty with Susie O'Neill podcast. Guys, how are we?
Great.
I don't all race to answer at
I
once.
think it's been fun hanging out in the holidays.
It's been great.
Yeah, and this is our penultimate episode.
It doesn't count anymore. It doesn't count anymore.
Doesn't matter, I got it in there.
I found another word that is, someone sent it to me,
Like third last?
third last.
Because penultimate is second last, and because it's our second last show all day, we've been trying to say penultimate as many times as possible.
What's the third last?
third last?
Now, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but anti-penultimate.
Oh.
A-N-T-E. So don't...
Wouldn't that be
ante-
any day that isn't the second last day?
It says third last.
Anti-penultimate.
Or maybe it's ant... It's an E, so I don't know whether to say anti. Ant.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh, ante. Oh, look, it's the ante, up the ante. That's how you'd spell up the ante.
Anti-penultimate. I thought it would be like trinuplet or something.
Oh, yeah. Have
You know what I
like
mean?
the 3 in it somehow.
Yeah.
No, but
But
not.
pen is usually 5, isn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
what a great point.
Pentagon?
Pen, yeah. Pentagon.
Pentathlon?
Yeah,
Teflon.
and that's all I know.
Yeah, and pens.
Oh, pens. Speaking of pens, did you want me to tell that letter story?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you do.
no.
time?
Well, we've only just started.
Tell us about your
Save it
letter
next time.
writing, Susie. All right,
I'll
tomorrow's
save
podcast.
Okay.
Tomorrow's podcast.
Because we've got so much to tell you. Okay. Firstly, there were the twins that have gone viral.
You two. You're like twins to me.
Dumb and Dumber is Matt and I. B1 and B2.
Surely somewhere in the last sort of 24, 36 hours of us recording this podcast, you will have seen the twins who did the eyewitness account on Channel 10 News.
And I was saying off air, this is a cultural moment for Australia. This is going to be one of those moments like a succulent Chinese meal where we're always... Yes, we're always going to remember these twins and their eyewitness account.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss that on the podcast.
And Sue's brought it to the table that they are more famous than we even realised, so you'll find that out in the potty as well.
When you go deep searching, they're like media... I was going to say media tarts. I don't...
Oh, you said it.
They're in the media a lot.
Yes, they've done quite a few things.
They've been on overseas television.
Yeah. They
Piers
did Piers Morgan.
Yeah, he loved it. He thought it was so funny.
What else have we got?
We also got Susie's boating trip.
Oh, yeah,
Boating.
when she moored her boat.
Yeah.
It's ashes. It's to do with ashes. It's to do with death, guys.
It was,
Thank you for making a joke about it.
we got some great calls.
Yeah, we
You were going to
did.
hear some cracking ashes stories. And we're not talking about the cricket. Like, we're talking about scattering of ashes, because I know that's where your mind went, Mel.
It did, and I almost tapped out.
And boy, oh boy, like you were talking about, like just this won't be in the podcast, but we've been giving away Gaga tickets. And when you're at those gigs, just to take a moment, and that's what I've kind of done this week, where I've just taken a moment just to realise what I'm doing and doing a national breakfast show. Mel Tracina, Susie O'Neill, happy to be at the table, and then yesterday getting to. Swim against Madam Butterfly.
And it was a great race. It was so good.
Was it, Suze? Was it? Is it up there with some of your great races?
I think about, all those big events I've had against, like Misty Hyman. Who else have I raced against? Petria Thomas.
Oh.
She was my arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Another Australian. Have you heard of Petria Thomas? She's
No.
great. Oh, she's a butterfly. I raced her for years and years and years.
Please don't take offence to this, but was she sort of was she the young up-and-comer, or were
Yeah.
you sort of similar in age?
Yeah, up and coming.
She was young
yeah,
up-and-comer,
okay.
Yeah.
So she was coming after you. She was trying to take your mantle.
Yeah, you were like my Petria Thomas.
Okay, I'll
Sort
take
of.
that.
You know,
Anyway,
I
it
was
was
just
fun.
thinking in that moment, like for Matt, this has been a real moment in his life being able to swim against you. But it feels like it was the opposite for Susie, where she's kind of gone, what's led me to this moment? What poor choices have I made that this is my life now?
No, it was actually fun. It's always fun to do something that you know you're really good at and better than other people.
Yeah.
To be honest, if I'm being perfectly honest, I just did Dancing with the Stars, remember?
Yeah,
And that was
okay.
completely opposite. So now I'm very appreciative when I get to do a swimming event.
Well, it was handicapped. I got a head start, and you'll find out in the pod how it goes.
There's also the video online if you want to see
Which
it
is
all.
very funny. See Matt and his toggies.
Your commentary Like, you're up there with Ray Hadley, Ray Warren, Bruce McAvaney, Mel Tracina.
I'll take it a step down, but thank you. I was pretty proud of myself, seeing as I don't watch much sport. In the taxi over, I was Googling phrases that I could use.
Practicing out the front, which was really
It was things
cute.
like weighing in it, and they're like, it's not a wrestling match. I'm like, oh, okay. The undisputed champ. I could have said undisputed champion. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
About who?
I think we know the answer.
Okay, cool. Look, we are out of time now
okay,
for your
well-
letters, Suze.
Oh, no worries. I just want to finish off with saying Smarter Than Suze is $600 tomorrow. But I've got a question. So if I win,
Oh, yeah.
what happens?
What happens to that coin?
What happens to the money?
It's our last show.
Or do we just...
Oh, there's no producers
keep
around. We all
going?
looked at the producers.
So-
Maybe we take it.
Maybe we should spend it on lunch today. I mean, that's putting the cart before the horse.
Do we make someone win? That's not fair, is it?
No.
Like, let someone win.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I'm winking.
Do really hard questions for Suze. Really
like
easy
do the
questions.
opposite.
And because Suze is in a soundproof booth, she won't know.
Or maybe I ask the questions really slowly to Susie.
Yeah, I think she can hear us because she's still in her
Yeah,
room.
I can hear this.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay, what do you usually do?
Well, usually we
Keep
on
going
air.
until
we
you
usually
give it away.
hold it over to the next episode, after our holidays.
Or do
But-
we keep going until we give it away?
Yeah, or to secure we get to do fill in again, we say it on air that next time we do a survey break fill in for all the breakfast shows, we will give away the money.
Nah.
Is that too long a hook?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And also, they'll end up spending the money.
Yeah, true.
And
okay,
forget
let's
about
just
it.
Yeah.
do it till we give it away.
Okay.
Let's just give
Yeah,
away
let's
money.
just-
Why not?
Well, let's do a question on question until maybe
Oh,
they win.
tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, yeah.
Oh, you've lost me.
We'll talk about it in the
Yeah.
planning
Okay,
meeting
great.
later. Okay, enjoy the podcast. Okay. Now, you've probably seen it rolling around in the last 24 hours or so. Bridget and Paula Powers doing a eyewitness account of what they saw their mother doing when there was a... Look, the story itself is a horrific story, but I think all of the attention has gone on to these two identical twins, Paula and Bridget, who... just have this innate act of being able to know what the other one is going to say and say it at the same time. Rather than me bang on about it anymore, have a listen.
He's got a gun. Poor mum was stuck up there. She goes, are you all right? Because he had all blood all over his face. And he goes, I'll shoot you. She goes, hey, I'm here to help. And he looked the other way and mum ran.
It's not the first time Bridget and Paula Powers have gone viral for their in-sync interviews.
Sometimes we do feel like just one person.
It is extraordinary that you speak in unison.
Sorry, how can
Is
you
that-
keep a straight face? That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
The nature-loving twinnies are well known on Queensland's Sunshine Coast, where they run a bird rescue centre.
I think also what makes it so funny is that they are absolutely identical. And they must
they
be
are.
a fair, it must be 50s maybe. And they always wear the same outfits, which are really, really cute outfits. But
The thing that got lost in all of that in the last 24 hours was the matching Easter outfits.
Yes.
Like the bunnies and
Yeah, like
almost look like a nurse's uniform.
Scrubs,
but, yeah,
yeah.
the scrubs.
kids'
yeah.
outfit. I came across them only about 2 weeks ago. I was watching Australian Story, and it was a story on Cliffy Young. He's an ultra-marathon runner from the 80s, I think it was. And they were in the story because they were Cliffy's angels. They became friends with Cliff Young right at the end of his life and actually lived with him and looked after him until he died. Those two and the mum.
And they ended up having an Australian story done on them.
And
as
they had
well.
they've had a separate Australian story on them as
Yeah.
well.
Phenomenal. But just that, like that twin thing, or, you spend so much time with someone that you can sort of know what they're going to say. And like, that's obviously next level. Like they are identical twins. They look the same, they dress the same, and they speak the same. But there's got to be some sort of knack to it.
Yeah, well, I suppose they spend so much time together. But did you see last night on the project that Waleed asked one of them a question and said the other one's not allowed to talk? I don't know which one he asked. He said, I just wanted you to answer the question. And the other one, wherever it was, she could barely keep her mouth shut. She wasn't saying out loud, but she was saying the exact words her sister was saying.
Wild.
That is what? Do they live together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, Susan, I just did it. Wow.
Susan, I just did it.
Do you want to give it a go?
Yeah, I want to give it a go.
Do you want to give it a go?
Yeah, let's I'll try.
Yesterday, after the show, we went downstairs and got some
some
food on the way. We saw Susie in a meeting.
What?
And
you said, should we get Susie
some food?
And I said, no, she's in a meeting.
So when we came back upstairs,
Susie said,
I'm hungry.
and I said,
Matt
was
wanted to. We were so close.
Matt wanted to ask you if you wanted food.
And then Mel said that was her
I
fault.
said you were in a meeting and we shouldn't bother you. And that's...
God. So you guys did it, though. You guys
we did it.
I mean, it was a bit slower than the 20s, but not too far off.
Not too
If you just moved in together and wore the matching outfits, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, that's a hard no.
It was obviously Easter weekend, last weekend, and a lot of people went away and did things, and I was no different. I was up in Queensland, went boating for the weekend. I said off air, every time I say I went boating, it just sounds wrong, doesn't it? But I went boating, and it was beautiful. The water was beautiful. I remember we just got up there. I can't remember what day it was, but it was early in the morning. The sun had just got up. The water was all green and beautiful, and I was just about to dive off the back of the boat to go for a swim, and we're about 100 metres from shore, so quite close to shore. We parked our boat, and just as I...
Is that how you'd say it? Park the boat?
It's moored.
Mooring.
Yeah.
But I thought if I said moored the boat, it sounds even more...
Lean right in, Susie. Give us it all. Put your boat shoes on and get into the story.
When the captain said, here's a great spot to moor the boat, I'll throw the anchor in.
Yes.
Were you wearing like a white and blue striped shirt and a sweater tied around your neck?
Yeah.
The preppy look.
And having caviar off your thumb.
The thumb. No. I was quite normal, relatively. Anyway, so just about to dive off the back of the boat and to dive into the beautiful water. Look, 100 metres to shore on the beach, and I'm like, what are those people doing? And I look up and there's like four people, like three younger people and an older person, and they've got for a better word, let's just call it an urn. They obviously have an urn of ashes because they start. I wasn't sure what they were doing. And then there was someone who was like probably 50 metres away with a camera filming it, and I'm like, what are they doing? And I'm on my togs, just about to dive off the back of the boat, and I'm like, then they open the urn. I'm not getting emotional. Sorry, I just did a little burp. And they started throwing the ashes, like spreading the ashes in the water. And I was like, this is really beautiful. Like, it was an amazing thing. And I thought, what do I do? I can't dive into the water and swim through the ashes. Can I? Like, I was literally going to swim into the beach.
So did you hold off?
Yeah, I did. I'm like, I can't really dive. I'm like, isn't that interesting?
Where was the water going? Was it going towards your boat?
I didn't. No, probably not. It was probably just. I didn't pay that much attention, to be perfectly honest.
Because, sometimes sand and stuff gets stuck in your bathers. Could you imagine diving in that water and then you go to take your bathers off and there's
A bit of grandpa.
Oh, but it made me think about where do people put their ashes? Like, most people get cremated now. Like, when I was growing up, all my nearest and dearest who died were buried in the ground in a coffin. But now, most people, would you say the majority of people are cremated?
Yeah. I think it also has to do with space.
Space, yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
And expenses as well. Cemeteries are expensive.
Oh, do you have to pay rent? Anyway.
I think you got to buy a lot, and then obviously the tombstone, and it's expensive to be buried.
And do most people take the ashes home? And do people spread them places?
I think people do different things. They spread them, they to keep them at home, or they might divvy it up and everyone gets a little piece. Some people wear it in a locket around their necklace.
Yeah.
There's so many ways of doing it.
I've seen the one where they put you into a firework. So you cremated and then you go into a fire. Yeah, that's legit. And I'm actually seriously considering it. How's the ego on him? Everyone gather around.
Yeah.
But no, it's
also, isn't it illegal?
No, but obviously it's through a company where it's all done properly. But you can just go
get covered in your ashes.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd like to be.
Where?
Strewn, is that the right word?
Yeah.
I reckon
Scattered.
Scattered.
I think in water. I mean, water seems
That
appropriate.
makes sense.
Yeah.
You can just go to the Ian Thorpe Aquatic Centre, just block out lane 1. Excuse me, guys. Susie O'Neill's here. Let's.
I saw someone throw ashes on the stage at a Pink concert. Someone took their mum along to a Pink concert.
Oh, in ash form.
But and in like a Ziploc bag, like a Glad sandwich bag, and just piffed them up onto the stage
Yeah, and
at Pink.
wasn't she a bit like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like taken aback by it?
Yeah.
Your ashes story. Like, because you always hear about these things happening where they've gone to scatter and it's ended up, the wind's taken it and it's gone in the complete opposite direction or something like that.
Richard, what's your ashes story?
Hey guys.
G'day, Richard.
Hey.
So literally 2 days ago, me and my cousin were ordered a skip bin to clean out the house, and his mum left our grandma's ashes in her room, and like in a carry bag. So we didn't know that, and then we're cleaning everything out, and we accidentally put the ashes in the skip bin, and we just like figured it out like last minute as the skip bin took the ashes away.
No. Do you mean like a Coles bag or something?
Yeah, it was like in a Coles bag, like.
Oh, and did you stop the skip bin?
No, the skip bin was already gone, so we're just panicking. We're like, fire out. What do we tell your mum? Like, what are we going to say? Yeah, we just kept quiet, so she still doesn't know.
Oh, he's going to keep it secret.
I mean, technically you could get another bag and just put some powder in there.
Yeah. But skip bins are pretty awesome as well. Like, it's if it could be an option. Like, when I see a skip bin in the street, I'm like, that's a cool skip bin. I'm going to go put some stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're choosing your way to go, maybe a skip bin could be up there. Richard, thank you for sharing. Is it Stefan or Stefan?
Stefan.
Hi, Stefan. How are you, mate?
Good, mate, good.
Okay. What happened with the ashes?
Yeah, my wife's mum, she passed away when my wife was quite young, and she's been taking her to different countries, just having her in a pendant around her neck, filling it with ashes, and then scattering it. So her legs in the Grand Canyon, her arms probably in Cambodia somewhere.
Good gear, Stefan.
I didn't realise she drops it off. I thought she just took it in the pendant on holiday, but no, a little bit of here, a little bit of there.
Imagine getting that through customs as well. I feel like that would be problematic.
That's hard because some countries don't allow it, so you've got to be careful. America's big on it, and that's where we went first, so you're not actually supposed to do it, apparently.
Oh, interesting. I wonder why. Like, it's just ashes. Like,
yeah, correct.
I wouldn't think that there'd be
biohazard.
Yeah.
It'd be good to have a little Find My Friends on it, and you could the Find My Friends and just be able to see little markers of where the mother-in-law is around. One more. Let's go to Liam. Hello, Liam.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks, Liam. What happened with the ashes?
So a couple of years back now, my wife's uncle passed away, and pretty young. He was late 30s, early 40s, and it was only a small family event. And the wake happened back at his place, and his wishes was that his ashes were put into a bottle of Jameson whiskey.
Yeah.
And then about 2:00 come around, and we'd obviously had a fair few, and his son come out and proceeded to pour us a glass each, and we had Jameson with essence of uncle.
Oh, wow. Was that?
Did you know?
Yeah, I knew. I'd had a couple beforehand, so I might have been, my judgment might have been a bit. Yeah, the more people I tell, the stranger the reactions get.
Yeah.
So.
What did it taste like?
It tastes like Jameson. It didn't taste a whole lot. It's sort of just once you get your head wrapped around it, it's not too crazy. But
was that the first time you had a bit of Jameson stuck in your teeth?
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the great. Yeah. People have questioned me now. I don't know if it's borderline cannibalism or what it is.
Mel Tracina, the floor is yours.
Something happened last week, and then an article came out about it, and I was like, yes, thank you. I'm glad we're talking about it because I didn't want to be the one to bring it up, but I'm gonna. So
you seem quite passionate about it.
It hasn't even started yet.
It's about tipping in restaurants now. Where did it come from and why is it here?
And when did it start?
And when did it start?
In Australia.
Exactly right. So the example is that last week I went for pasta just by myself, right? I was starving. We'd been doing breakfast radio. I found a pasta restaurant.
I would have come with you.
I wanted to go on my own. I'm like, I needed some me time. And I sat by myself in a restaurant for lunch eating pasta. That in its own was expensive. And as an Italian, I'd get offended when I have to spend too much money for pasta. It was delicious. I didn't complain. I paid it. But then it was, do you want a tip? For what? What do I want a tip for? I literally came in, I ordered a pasta, I sat down and I ate it.
With the service?
And but it was lunch, and no offense to the waiter, she was lovely, but it wasn't like an incredible service. So I was like, oh, no tip. It's lunch, like no tip. And I reckon she knew because she went from being really warm to then being like, okay, bye. And I was like, oh, okay.
And
okay.
She also might have known because you know how when you pay, they quite often bring the FBOS machine over to you and in front of you, like they give you the price, then a tipping thing comes up.
Yes,
yeah. And it says, how much do you want to tip?
And they usually prompt too. Oh, if you'd like to tip, there's an option there. And you're like,
yes.
And if you press no thanks,
they know.
You always feel
it's
really
like
cheap, don't you?
Yeah, it's like they get a vibration or something, like they've got a wristband that goes zzz, and you go, oh, these people haven't tipped me. And it's annoying because I'm like, we live in Australia where our hospitality and our wages and all of that is better than America. So, and I get why America do it, but here in Australia, we have like penalty rates and we have surcharges for everything. So I'm like, what's the tipping for? Like, why are we now tipping? And if we start feeling guilty into tipping, is it just going to be expected everywhere we go now? You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, if they've done if they've been like exceptional, I'll do it. But
that's usually when you're already dropping a fair amount of coin on a meal anyway. Like if you're doing that once a year, really bougie restaurant, you go out with a group of people and it's one of those expensive joints, you're already paying a lot and the service is really good. But then you're like, oh my God, I've already dropped a couple of $100 here. What am I meant to tip?
Also, you're doing your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're doing your job and you're doing it. Why am I now having to pay for your job? You're getting paid. It's like me asking to be tipped here for bringing you a great 3-hour show. You know what I mean?
Occasionally some stories deserve a little bit of a tip. But you're right. Sometimes we're just getting what we pay for. I reckon you feel a lot of pressure to tip. And I know what you mean. My 50th birthday, I definitely... tip. It was sort of a bit of a lunch, 10 girlfriends and stuff. But also by the end, you're in such a good mood. You've had a few drinks. You're like, I'll do it. But generally,
Is it the expectation? Because this Reddit thread was the expectation of having to. And this is the thing. When I get prompted, I'm like, oh, I didn't think this was necessary. But now I feel like I have to. And then that makes me not feel good about my meal. Because then I go, oh man, I didn't tip and I feel horrible. Or I did tip and I'm like, why did I do that?
I know it's expectation. And also who you're at lunch with?
I was by myself.
Oh, okay.
Like this time I was by myself.
We didn't get invited.
Okay. In that situation, I would definitely press no thanks.
Yeah,
because
okay.
I go out with some friends, and I've got one girlfriend specifically who always tips. I mean, we went out to lunch just recently, actually, and we're like, divide. You can divide your meals now into 4. And she goes, and we'll just put a bit of a tip on. I'm like, oh. Yeah. But so if I'm with her and if I was taking a turn to pay it, I would definitely feel an expectation from my friends.
Yes.
So they didn't think that I'm really stingy.
Yeah.
Stingy. Even though,
Let's go to phones.
That's what it is. It's stingy. Listen, do you see the value in tipping? Maybe I'm looking at it in a complete wrong way and maybe I need to be educated in it.
Or hospitality. If you work in hospitality and you want to defend the 10, 15, 25% tip, get on the phone as well, 13 24 10.
Maybe there's something wrong with the system and I don't know.
Mel Tresina, we've learned a couple of things. You like eating pasta alone and hate tipping.
I don't hate tipping, but I don't like that we're leaning towards a tipping culture and I don't understand whether we need to be tipping. So on 13 24 10, I want to know your points on it, and if you work in hospo and you can educate us on maybe why it's beneficial, give us a buzz, 13 24 10. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, everyone. How are we?
Very well, thank you, Andrew. Would you like to weigh in on this discussion?
Yep, 2 things. Why should we tip if prices of food actually goes up because of wages? And the second thing is, isn't that a culturally normal thing to actually provide good service? Isn't that something that you need to pay extra for?
You know, sorry, to your second point, Andrew, I think that's what I was trying to say earlier and I didn't word it properly. In Australia, I think we naturally are really great at customer service. Like, Aussies are just always really lovely. And so I kind of feel like that's just who we are, that we always give good service.
100%.
Yeah, it's just part of our nature. And I agree as well with the first point. Food is so expensive at the moment everywhere, whether it's restaurants or groceries. Everything is going up and we're all struggling. So adding that tip or that pressure of the tip just adds to that pressure of the consumer as well, which kind of makes you go, well, maybe I don't want to go out anymore.
Yes. So, yeah, that's why they hike up price on food. They're like, oh, it's going up because of wages, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, gotcha. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate you calling up.
There's a note that's come through there, Mel. We've had 400 calls, all saying that we don't need to tip. There is no one sticking up for the tips at the moment, including Kay. Hi, Kay.
Hi, how you doing?
Very well. So did you used to work in hospitality?
Yeah, when I was younger.
Okay.
I used to be a waitress. I worked at like a few different places, like an RSL and a Chinese restaurant, and then I worked at a really, really fancy winery in around Goulburn there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there was definitely no tipping then, and it's just expected for you to be polite and just earn what you earn.
Okay, gotcha. So you didn't have that expectation, and now you don't. If you're in a situation, having been in hospitality, where you're at a restaurant or whatever, and there's an option to tip, where do you sit?
Oh, I'm not tipping. I'm sorry. I live in Australia. I don't live in America.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Kay.
But the hospitality industry gets paid quite well nowadays. So, yeah.
We're just saying off air as well that if you do tip, where does the money actually go to? And is it better off, taking cash? I like that point you said off air, Mel, and just paying the waitress. If you really think they've done it, like sometimes they do go over and above.
Yes, and I agree with that.
And you might think, I really want to give that young boy or young girl just a little bit of money.
Yeah, so give him cash in their pocket kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Someone did call in and say that the tips where that person worked actually went to the boss. It didn't actually go to the floor staff.
And it's like, so why am I paying for the boss? Like, I want this person to get the money if that's the case.
And don't get me started on QR codes.
Oh.
Like, if you're ordering off a QR code and then that asks for a tip, who am I tipping? Am I tipping the little square for taking my order off the table? Outrageous. Yesterday.
What a day yesterday was. It was such an honour for me staying dry.
Staying dry.
Oh, what did you think I was going to say?
Watching me swim.
Oh, no, I was going to. I was going to say it was an honour for me to be able to stay dry and watch Susie O'Neill swim against Matt Baisley, because they did a handicap race, which was based off a story or an Instagram reel that you saw yesterday, Matt.
Yeah, 3-time Olympic gold medalist Shelley Ann Fraser-Price. Now, she is a sprinter and then was at an athletics carnival for her son Zion, and then they did a mum's race, and she absolutely blitzed him, and we're talking about it on air. And then just so happened that, like you said earlier, Mel, we expect Susie O'Neill just to have swimmers on her at all times.
Yeah.
I don't always, to be honest, but I did yesterday.
And I had some in the car, and I thought, you know what, it would be nice to see how a mere mortal could fare against Madam Butterfly.
And I think you were quoted saying something like Matt Baisley would sink. He's too muscly.
I said he would sink, but I prefaced it with saying because he's so muscly.
Yeah,
and he's very lean in the pool, so he wouldn't be a floater. He'd be a sinker. So I figured I'd have a bit on him. So I said, I'll give you 20 metres. You start 20 metres in front of me. And I'll try and catch you.
So we packed up after the show and went down to the Ian Thorpe Aquatic Centre, which is near the station here. We didn't know if we were going to get it across the line at one point, whether or not we were going to be able to film inside there. And we thought, surely we've got Susie O'Neill with us.
Be Susie O'Neill.
But who did they recognise at the front door? Not me, no, Olympic gold medalist. It was, there's Mel Tracina from the cheap seats. Yes, come on in.
The gates just opened up.
You're welcome.
Wandered in.
It was a moment for me, I've got to say.
Suze, I couldn't believe it. Anyway,
sorry, it was bad.
They shut down a couple of lanes for us, and the race that stopped those 2 lanes, it was a real moment for me. Like, last night I was showing my kids your 200-metre swim at the Sydney Olympics, Suze, and then that moment I'm like, I just got to swim alongside Susie, which was just phenomenal.
That
Like,
was nice. Mel probably can't even remember the Sydney 2000 Olympics.
yeah, that's right.
I know. I remember Nikki Webster.
Okay, should we cross poolside?
Yeah, let's go poolside. I'm on commentary, so I apologise. It's not my forte. But let's find out who won in the race that stops the Aquatic Centre.
We're here at the Ian Thorpe Aquatic Centre, ready to see Susie, Madam Butterfly O'Neill take on Matt Dadbod Baisley. And he's off. He's dived into the pool. He is swimming towards the 20-metre mark, which is his handicap before Susie O'Neill. Madam Butterfly, the Olympian, joins him. Susie is off. She is ready to go in the second lane, swimming like an absolute champion. Who's going to win, though? It looks like Matt could do it. Almost even. It's almost even. It's going to be a matter of fingertips on the wall. And she does it. Susie O'Neill, that is why they call her Madam Butterfly.
Never in doubt. Never in doubt.
Good call, Mel.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Thanks.
For a non-commentator. Because the trick of a commentator is to make a sport like swimming sound exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting. I was so excited. I'm not even going to say it. Forget about it.
No, don't, because I've got a feeling I know what you're going to say.
Good tease.
Yeah. Oh, can I write it down and you tell me if you
Why can't you
if
say
it's
it?
what you're going to say?
Yes.
Oh, you can't say that.
No, well, we were because we were in the pool. There's no reason that Mel should have been. Okay, the video I've got a feeling is up online.
Yes, you got to go check it out on the socials. It was such an incredible race. Just actually being able to watch Susie swim in real life was really cool.
Well, that was what we did after, because Sue's stayed. She's like, okay, see you guys, I'm going to do some more laps. And we just stood there and watched you swim. And I know you couldn't tell that because you were just doing your laps. And I was like,
you were so in the zone.
Amazing. Yeah.
Swimming is my meditation. It was good. It was nice. And it's always, it's good for my ego to slightly beat someone.
Yeah, the 41-year-old overweight dad. Yeah, no, it's good.